Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Lord Farquaad from Shrek. He goes with the rest of my Shrek set. For this pattern, you're going to need a hook and holding hook, your loom in the offset configuration, red bands, black bands, silver, some gold, and skin tone. For the eyes, I'm going to be threading on a couple of small pearl beads using a piece of dental floss. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. And we are going to do most of this on the loom, but we'll have a couple of parts that we'll be doing on our hook. So let's start with our legs and our arms. For your legs, you're going to take one single black band, wrap it 1, 2, 3 times onto your hook. Let's turn this sideways a little bit because I keep veering off to the left. And this is going to go onto 9 doubled over singles. And your legs are going to curve a little bit. I can suggest some adjustments at the end. Just so you know, because this is tight, it will be a little bit curvy. It's okay. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that's one leg, and let's make the second one exact same thing, single wrapped 1, 2, 3, and pull that onto 9 doubled over singles. Five, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you can leave this where it is and get a different hook. I'm just gonna push these over and make my arms on the same hook here. Now these arms do come out a little bit long, and I'll show you at the end if you want to cinch it into the side, but if you want it a little shorter, you can take out one red or a black. I'm just gonna follow my original model though. I'm gonna take 2 reds, wrap them on the hook 1, 2, 3 times, pull that onto a doubled over single, red, and a second one, and a third one. And this is going to go onto 6 doubled over black bands. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to get a gold band. Well, actually, let's get a few gold bands out because we're going to need those right away. But take a gold, stretch it out. We're going to pinch it over the hand, twist it and bring it over a second time, twist it and bring it over a third time, and roll that down towards the bottom of the hat. Okay, you're going to have 3 gold bands and 3 red bands. And we will try to intersperse them, alternate them. Put that on the end of your hook and slide it through the arm. Replace. So this won't be perfectly striped, but try and even it out as best you can. And then this is going to go onto a single doubled over red. Okay, even that out, and let's make our second arm. 2 reds, wrap them on the hook 1, 2, 3 times, and this will go on to 3 doubled over reds. So there's 1. And 2. And 3. And then onto 6 doubled over single blocks. Get your single gold. I'm going to wrap it over the top of the hand again. 1 loop, 2 loop, 3. And then we need 3 gold and 3 red. Again, I'm going to try to put the reds between the golds. It doesn't really stay where you want it to all that well, but we'll try to space them out a little bit. Pull those through the black bands. I missed a red. And replace. And then onto a doubled over single red. And we're going to go to the loom and start on the body. Just a note here, we'll be adding this piece, and this piece, these pieces on after the fact, and we're going to do our body separately from our face. So go to your loom, take 2 skin tone bands, come down top center to second center, once with double bands. We're going to be doing most of the rest in red. 2 reds from the second center to the second right, 2 reds from the second center to the second left. And let me just count for you how many times we're going down here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sets of double red down either side. So that's 2 reds together. 8 times. 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. Opposite side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And in the middle, we're going to go down 1 time more. So it looks like we've got 9 in the middle. It's going to end just below the other 2 sides. I'm not sure why I did it like that, but it worked, so we'll go with it. So there's 1 set of bands, 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9 in the middle. And we can put our arms onto the second pegs down. Try to angle it or direct it so that your arms are kind of curving inwards. That might mean turning the piece around on your hook, your loom. We're going to take 2 bands and slide the legs onto those and stretch it across your, if you're counting from the bottom, it'll be your 4th peg up on either side. Like so. And I just separated the legs across. And we're going to use single holding bands as to make triangles across the 3rd pegs down. Across the 4th pegs, and repeat until you reach the bottom. So that's 3 of them, 4 of them, 5, 6, and 7. And on the 7th set you can carry it down to make a full diamond. Pull that band down. We are ready to loop up the body. So let's go in at the side. We're going to find the bottom 2 bands. Put your hook through the bands that are holding the feet. Scoop up the bottom 2, bring them over and onto the peg above. Push back your holding bands. Get your next 2, bring them forward, and we're gonna follow up the side, taking the bottom 2 bands each time. When you get to the second peg from the top, you can reach in, find the bottom 2, and scoop those into the second center peg. I'm having a hard time seeing this, so I'm gonna swivel to the side, catch it a little loose, and that actually didn't help very much. Let me try that again. I'm gonna bring that back for a minute. There we go. Okay, let's loop up the opposite side. So catch your bottom 2 bands, bring them up, turn your loom sideways if it helps you to see it better. And when you get to the arm, you're going to find the bottom 2 again. Scoop them up and bring them diagonally inwards and onto that second peg down from the top in the middle. And go back to where the legs are. I feel like I've got an extra set here. But as I said, it worked out the first time, so we'll do it again. So scoop up the band that's under the legs, push back your holding band, and get the bottom 2 bands on the next peg. Bring those forward, and we're going to loop all the way up to the top now. And skin tone bands on the top set. Okay, hold on to the bands in your top center peg, and the rest of your bands can be loosened from the loom. Put your hook through the bands on the top center loom and remove the body. Hey, so cute. Okay, let's stay with the loom because we're going to do the face next. Let me pull up my pattern for that part. Oh, sorry, a bit of a cold I'm getting over here. Okay, we're going to start with the hat. So 2 red bands, top center to the top right. top center to the top left, and come down once on each row with double red bands. Now our next set is going to be gold, but we're going to double it over. And honestly, it still comes out a little bit loose. I had to do a bit of cinching in after, but double over a single gold, put it from your second peg to your third peg down, repeat on each of the rows. And we're going to switch to skin tone and come down 4 times with double skin tone bands down the center. And on either side we'll come down, looks like 3 times with double skin tone bands, starting at your third pegs down. We're gonna need double skin tone bands coming from your 6th side pegs to your 7th center pegs. So it's going to close up where the chin is. And we can attach the body, and then we've got to do a couple of extensions here. So take the bands of your body and we're going to put it onto your 7th peg down in the center. Let's put on some doubled over singles. Let me just check which one has the eye. I lost my picture there. Okay, so take a single skin tone band, stretch, twist, double it over, bring it across your 3rd pegs down. We're going to take a single red. You don't have to double it over, just a single red across your 2nd pegs down. Now for the eyes, if you're just using black bands or beads with larger holes, you can put them onto your hook and then transfer them both onto a doubled over skin tone. As I said, I'm going to be using these smaller beads. So what we do is we put a piece of floss or a needle and thread or a really thin wire through one and then through the other. Try to get this all the way here. Let's try that again. And we're going to take a skin tone, twist, double it over, put the floss through, bring it back on top and back through the beads from the opposite direction. So it's going to be a little tight. And again, as I said, if you're using black bands, for instance, or your beads have a larger hook, you can wrap your bands 3 times each onto your hook, or just put your beads, larger pulled beads on, and get them onto doubled over single skin tone. We're going to stretch that from the 4th peg down on one side to the 4th peg down on the other. Turn this around and make sure we get it all the way. And I'm leaving it on the floss just for the moment until I'm sure it's secure, and then you can take your floss out. Separate those, get the hook in between. This is regardless of the style of eye you've made. And transfer half of that doubled over band onto the 4th peg down. Below that we'll need 2 more doubled over single skin tone bands. That's 1 and 2. Okay, grab your hook, take a single red, wrap it once and twice, pull it onto 2 red bands, pull it onto another 2 red bands, take the part that's on your hook and it's going to go onto the top side peg. Pick a side because we're going to do it on both, it doesn't matter where you start it. Go into that first, where that chain started, and you're going to have, I guess, 3 loops, looks like 3 loops on your hook, and we're going to move those onto the second peg down. What's going to happen is that will balloon out a little bit and give us the poofiness for his hat. Let's do this again for the other side. Single wrap twice, pulled onto 2 sets of double bounds. Transfer onto the first and second pegs on the side. Okay, we've got our eyes, and for the hair, we're going to take a single black, wrap it, oh, sorry, not single, I forgot, we did want this really thick. So take 3 black bands, put them on your hook, and wrap once and twice, and then pull onto 3 sets of double black bands. Oh, I did that again. Not 3 sets of doubles. Let me correct myself once more. We're going to put it onto 3 bands, and then onto 3 sets of double bands. So now we take 2 together, put it through, 2 together, put it through, and honestly I think we only needed 2. Let me double check that. Oh, well, let's do the one more. Should work. And we're going to take the bands that are on the hook, put them onto the 3rd peg down, and we'll be stretching. That might happen. We're going to be stretching the rest of this chain down to the 6th peg, and as we stretch it down, I'll try to angle this so you can see. We're going to take a piece out of each section, each part of the chain, to pull onto each of the pegs below. And this looks right, so it was supposed to be 3 sets of 2. Okay, other side, single of 3 singles. I'm so used to doing all my chains starting with singles. 3 singles wrapped once and twice onto 3 bands. We'll get it right this time. Except that's popping out. I spoke too soon. 2, 3, and then onto 3 sets of double bands. Let's transfer that on the other side. So the ones that are on the hook will go onto your 3rd pegs down. Stretch and pull. Grab a piece out of each link to go onto the pegs below. And the bottommost peg, that's going to come out of the 3 band piece of the chain. Let's stretch the body down just a little bit because we have to get underneath that and grab the top or the next 2 bands. They're going to come up to the right. The next 2 are going up and to the left. Got one there, I need to get the other. The last 2 bands will be looping upwards. And we can loop up either side. And we're going to be looping up the bottommost sets of 2. So in goes the hook, grab your bottom 2, and bring those forward onto the next peg, and repeat. Now the next time that you do it, you're going to take one of your black black bands off, and you can use a separate hook if you find it easier. But we're gonna go back in for the bottom 2 skin tone bands under the eyes, bring those forward, and then replace the 2 black bands. And loop up your doubled over single gold. And honestly, I think we end up turning this over once it's off the loom, so don't worry too much if you're struggling with that part. It's not totally critical. Share 2 reds and loop in to the top. Go to the far side and loop up your bottom 2 skin tone. Loop up your bottom 2 skin tone again. Take off your top couple of black bands. Reach in under the eye, loop up your skin tones, and replace the black. Again, I would encourage you, if you're a little newer to this, to use a separate hook or even a C-clip. Loop up your doubled over gold, as that can be a little bit tricky. Get your bottom 2 reds and loop the last set of bottom 2 reds inwards. We're going to go back to the 6th peg down and loop straight up. I'm going to loosen a little bit of this from lower down. I feel my bands are getting really pulled on here. Okay, take a single red, get it ready on your left hand, left fingers. Take your hook, point the open part away from you, and push straight down through the bands on the top center peg. Grab hold of that red band you were holding, and as you pull back through, you're going to angle your hook so that the open part faces up. Then you can put the other side on and pull the further piece over the closer one over the top of the hook to create a slip knot. Hold on to that, or you can put it on a C-clip or a hook already, and we're going to take the rest of Farquaad off of the loom and add some finishing touches. Oh, and our cape. It's sort of a finishing touch. So you can see on one side you're going to have black lines running through the center of the face, and that is going to become your back side. So when you have that back side facing you, you can run under a couple of bands. I'm going just into the red here, and we slide our securing band through. So pull it under a couple of nearby bands. If there's anything you want to tighten, you can tighten it by grabbing that band and pulling it under the band that's on your hook. And I'm going to put that onto a C-clip. We are going to be using a couple of C-clips as we finish off here. And for the moment, I'm just going to let this flop loose because I might be using that one again. Okay, back on the front, you can, I'm going to wait just a minute before we do the eyes. Let's do our V-neck hair next. So we take 2 gold bands, put them on your finger. Take your hook and come from the back to the front at the place that you'd like your V to meet. Pull those bands through, and just for the moment I'm going to put another band through those on the back. I'm trying to think the easiest way to show you this. Okay, let's make this really easy. So the gold is running through. On the back side it's on a hook. On the front side I'm going to put it on a C-clip just for the moment, so you can hopefully better see what I'm doing. Now on the back side, I'll take a single band, run it through both of the gold, and this way I've got a little more space to move this around. Now I'm going to go to the front side and take one of the gold pieces and pull it over the shoulder towards the back. It came right off anyway. And I've gone back through that piece that came over the shoulder. I'm going to grab the band that went through the other two and slide it through the piece that's coming over the side. And then I'll put the other part of that kind of securing band back on. And now I'm going to go back to the front, take off the C-clip, grab the other side of my V and pull it over the neck. Turn around, and we're gonna try to grab that as well. So let me take one piece of this off for the moment, but I'm still holding on to it, grabbing the new one and pull one piece from the other, and this will go into a C-clip. So I hope that was more clear and less awkward than if I was just to do it just with my hook, but whatever is least awkward for you, I guess. You can definitely play around with the positioning, and if you find a way that works better for you, you can certainly use that. And if you're having a really terrible time lining things up, then just put the pieces, put a C-clip on the bottom and catch it on the top, put it on the same C-clip. Whatever's easiest for you is fine. For the belts, we're going to take 2 black bands, stretch them, pull them over the legs into the center of the body. Now if you want the little belt piece in the middle, you can take a silver or a gray or even a bead. Wrap it 1, 2, 3 times, and we're going to put it onto a doubled over black. Pull one side over the other. And we're going to be grabbing this piece from the back, pulling it and pulling it through. So I'm going through from the back side. Hold on. Loosen that up again. Put this all back on because actually I want this to go over the... Okay. So it's... Can you see that just like that? And we're going to pull one side through to the back, or one side over the belt, I should say, and then grab the other side so that it sandwiches the belt there. And then we'll pull the closer side over the end of the hook and pull that to the back now. And that can go into a C-clip. Actually, yeah, okay, let's put another one here. Maybe I'll just explain that one more time. So the silver, I'll show you one more time. So that silver was wrapped and pulled onto a doubled over black. Going to demo it with a different color because that's what I got here. And then we reached this over the belt and pulled one side and then pulled the side over the other, and then it came to the back. Okay, I hope that part was clear. You can grab a black Sharpie marker and draw pupils onto your eyes now. So make sure those are pressed kind of through. If you've got loose bands, you can tighten those up at the back a little bit. I've got to go to the camera just for a second so I can get a better hold and better markering on this guy. Now just before I go further, you can see there are some loose bands, so what I'm going to do is turn to the back and try to pull and find until I've tracked down that loose one. just quickly going to show you what you can do if you've got some loose bands too. Tugging where I think it'll be until I get one that'll tighten it up a little bit. And what you can do is go under a nearby band and pull the loose band over the other one until you are close to your C-clip, and then catch it on. So that is something you can do if you've got a couple of loose bands. Okay, now this part here, there isn't a set easy way to do this. I've just sort of stitched the pieces on, so I'll show you a few and we'll see how it goes here. So I'm going to go from the back to the front, grab a gold, pull it to the back, reach around, pull one side over the other to the back. I'm going to go through just a little bit to the side. So now I've gone just past that first chain. I'm going to grab another gold, slide it to the back and through the band that's on the hook. We're going to try to reach back through to the center of the first chain, the first part of the leg. Catch that gold band, pull it through the one that's on the hook. I'm going to reach further now. I'm going to go towards where that third row would have been, like in between them. Grab another gold, slide it on, slide it through to the back. Let's see, where do I want to go next? Coming back through on the closer side, and as I said, I'm just stitching it all the way across, as if one was sewing it here. Do a couple more. Okay, so let's reach closer to the end. I'm gonna come through the middle of the last row, grab a gold, pull it through, go through the band that was on my hook, and now I'm stretching it around the side, and I'll grab that at the back. And you can kind of keep doing that until you filled your gaps. So I see there's a little space here that doesn't have gold. I'm gonna come through from the inside, grab a band, put it on, slide it to the back and through the bands that are there, and then catch it on the other side so that it will meet up with where the last bit of gold is. Takes a little bit of maneuvering here, but to get it, you can have a nice line going across the bottom. And don't be afraid to pull a piece out and re-angle it. Like, this takes a little bit of playing around. As I said, there isn't like, it's pretty much put it through, grab a gold, pull it to the back, grab it around, reach through, the same way you would stitch. So yeah, if you're coming in here, then go across, catch it in the back. If you're coming here, go around, catch it in the back. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to show you how to I guess pose Farquaad just a little bit, and then we'll quickly do the cape. So if you want the arms to sit next to the body, you will go to the back, go under a couple of bands near where you want the arm to sit, grab a band from the arm, slide it under the body pieces, and then you can put it on a C-clip or you can weave it across. So go under a band, pull it through, go under a band, pull it over and through, and then at some point you will get to your C-clip, or you can add a new C-clip on. And you can do the same for the other arm. for the legs, if you want them to be a little less curly and sit a little closer together, here's upside down just now. Go through a band on one leg, go through a band on the other leg, pull one under the other. And you can do this a couple of times if you want to. So I'm going to go through one leg, through the other, and just pull the pieces over, and that can go onto a C-clip. Yes, we're being liberal with our C-clips. If you don't want to use as many, you can connect some of the pieces by weaving through. So I'll show you how to do that really quickly. So if you want to bring them closer, you take the one you're trying to secure, go under a nearby band, pull the one you're securing over, go under a nearby band, and try to keep them close together so that you don't pull and add a lot of tension. You can keep going under nearby bands until you've reached up to another C-clip. So that's one way to kind of combine them. Alright, really quickly, for our cape, we are going to take reds and fill up our loom. So start at the top, double bands, 2 down in the middle, 2 bands on the side, 2 bands on the other side, and we are going to continue until we reach the end of the loom, just as you see. Dear, the time is getting away from me. I've got somewhere to go right away. But we've got time for this. We're almost done. Well, it's been a bit of a busy stretch for me. Lots of work going on, and I've been really sick the last couple weeks too. But I'm glad with the holidays coming, I've got a little bit of downtime and I get to do some Rainbow Loom again. It feels like a really long time. Almost there. Positions here. And in just a minute, we're going to be putting single triangle holding bands on each set of rows here, and we can do 2 bands together across the bottom 3. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. So take 2 bands, stretch them across the bottom 2 pegs, and bring it up over the bottom middle peg. Okay, add single holding bands. So we'll go across the 2nd pegs down, the 3rd pegs down, the 4th pegs down, all the way to the bottom there. I'm doing them bottom to top, but it'll amount to the same thing. And 2 more. Okay. Go to the bottom of your loom, and we're going to loop straight up on each of the rows. Grab your bottom 2s, watch out for your holding bands. We're looming straight up. This is basically like a, I guess, a triple chain we're doing here. If you find things are getting tense on your loom, you can loosen up some of the lower bands that have been looped on. Just make sure that they are looped for certain before you do. So I'm actually really excited. I've got quite a lot of my Shrek set done. I know Pinocchio and Rumpelstiltskin were requested, and they're proving to be very challenging, but I won't give up. I'm gonna keep trying to figure those two guys out. But yeah, most of the basic set is up on my channel already, and I will add this to the playlist as soon as I can. Okay, put your hook through the bands on the top side peg, and then the bands on the top center, and then the bands on the side closest to you. And we're going to take this off the hook. It's okay if it gets a little stretched because we actually want it to be kind of broad. Take one or two bands and pull it through the bands on your hook. And how on earth did I attach this? Okay, we're going to go to the back of your Farquaad. And you can see I'm holding the cape, the bands that they're on. One side is on the hook, the other is on my finger, but you can use another hook if you want. I'm going to go through the skin tone bands on the back that are there for the neck. Grab the other side of the cape, and then you can take a separate band or just these. And I'm going to pull everything that's on the right over the two red bands on the side here. So I'm going to pull the skin bands over, slide that through, and the next skin bands. And this is going a little awkwardly here. Let me go back so I can see what I'm doing. Bringing the red over, bringing skin bands over, and this will go onto my C-clip, which is already here. Okay, let's turn them around, straighten things out, and I'll show you my original next to him. Okay, so there's Lord Farquaad. You are all done. I hope you'll check out some of my other Shrek tutorials, and I thank you for watching.